Yo, what's good guys? Today I'm gonna be showing you the games that got me to UC on the second day. The next game was against Kevin. I kinda raged inside when I saw Kevin loves 2.6, so I instantly World Breakers the bridge because I knew it was 2.6. About cycles, this deck is actually terrible with cycles. Let's not even talk about the starting end. This deck is actually terrible with cycles because you do not really have a big spell. Most of the times they do. And that's pretty much all the reasons. They can keep up with your cycle, though I guess you can outspam them since you have a cheaper deck and a champion into the deck. I kinda wanna cycle back to a lot of stuff here just because I wanna fix my cycle, but unfortunately I can't really do that since he has a pretty good cycle right now. And mine is actually terrible. I can't really get any damage, which is kind of annoying, but at the same time, the most concerning thing is that if he understands he can just defend and fireball cycle me when I don't have the evil dart in cycle, that's gonna be pretty annoying. But if I recall correctly, I kinda break through because he missed one dark goblin, and I got the momentum, which is all I need. I know he's back to cannon, so I have no reason to go for wall breakers. I can still force it out. Here I guess I reset with a Mighty Miner in the back or something. Okay, just cycle to my Skellies for the Ice Spirit. And now I go with that. I don't know, I kinda panicked on the Skellies. I didn't really want him to support him with the Hog, I guess. I would cycle the Cannon and the Log too. Well, not really, since he can cycle that back. I go for a little bit of a high Dark Goblin, so he can miss the... yeah, he can kinda miss. And here I get the momentum, where I actually predict a few things that allowed me to kinda get all this damage. I also got a lane switch right here, if I recall correctly. Okay, no, I didn't. But it still tanks for the bush, which is insane. And as you can see, I get like a fuck ton amount of damage. Which, believe it or not, 1.5k damage lead isn't even close to enough. I need like at least a 2k lead. Yeah, 2k damage lead to clock up on defense, but I still need to pressure. He goes for a very good 11 elixir, which is understandable in his damage, since I can defend mostly perfectly here. I wasn't expecting a log. I feel like he was kinda stupid enough to not understand that he has to protect the cannon. But he actually did. He was actually pretty smart, since the cannon there forces my darts and stuff like that. I also split my pushes, because well, I can just like put 3 things and let him log everything. I go for another Mighty Miner. I mean, another set of wall breakers. Being always pretty aggro. I also misclicked the cannon, but it doesn't really matter. High cannon, because I was expecting him to fireball the tower and the dart. And yeah, just defending it. You can see he's catching up pretty quickly. Like, all he needs are like, yeah, 3 fireballs and he's back on the damage lead. So I have to use the Mighty Miner and do the same thing I did before, which is not going to be funny and not even easy. He kinda goes for a Turbo Evo Cannon. Maybe the old Evo Cannon would have killed all my pushes. I split both of my lanes, and as you can see, I lane switch and I tank for my Evo Dart, and there's nothing he can do. He should have fireballed, but he needed that on offense. The next game should be, yeah, Royal Giant. Royal Giant normally isn't the best matchup. I wouldn't say it's free, not impossible, but if they actually lock in and have a big spell, they can actually win. They just gotta be careful of not getting outspammed or something like that. But this version, I felt like I could have been pretty aggro in single, which I feel like I did. Yeah, I went with the Mighty Miner and Bush opposite lane, which normally implies a lane switch. And as you can see, I actually do that. There's like no proper response for that. And the Bush gets like an insane amount of damage, like pretty much 3/4 of his towers. I don't know if he meant good luck in the sense of I got lucky because he actually played bad, though there was nothing he could have done. From this spot on, I kind of, I don't know, he needs to get aggressive or build a very good push. For a pretty good, okay, no, that was not a pretty good Ice Spirit. That was a terrible Ice Spirit. Probably should have gone with the Wall Breakers same lane, now that I think about it, but I wasn't. I don't know, I feel like he could have just Scar me and Bar Barrel them and full counter them. I go for Skellies, also to block the Fisherman preemptively. And he goes for that. And he goes for the Skelly King on the right. I kinda forgot about the Hunter, I'm gonna be honest, but it's alright, I can just lane switch and defend everything a little bit easily. On second thought, I really wanted to go log on the left. Maybe try for a tower trade, but it wasn't really worth it. I get a lot of damage, but he doesn't really have a big spell, and that's alright. I can still have the control of the whole game since he needs to cycle back to a lot of Evo Hunters in order to pull off something like that. I want my Mighty Miner to be still healthy, so I do something like this. I also play pretty aggressive into his Skelly King and all the Wall Breakers connects because of the log stun. Wall Breakers also on the left, connected, which is pretty good. I'm winning on both lanes. Though I don't really stress here, because I know his cycle was pretty bad, so I keep pressuring both lanes, log prediction on the right, which actually doesn't play anything. I was expecting a Skarmy on the right, but it's all good. We got Jesse, which is running the most basic Lava Hound version, if I recall correctly. Yeah, classic Lava. Which, I'm gonna be honest, as long as they don't Lava first play you, you shouldn't really have many problems. Okay, he goes for the Barbs. I go pretty aggro with the Mighty Miner on the left. And I don't think I lane switched here, which is pretty weird. I probably didn't even think about it, I just wanted to defend. He goes pretty aggro with the Loon. And I can defend with perfect micros those Barbs. And the Dark Goblin's gonna do everything else. He goes for a pretty good Tombstone. Unfortunately, the Will Breakers connecting is insane. Kinda wanna force him to zap on that, because it's like beneficial for him. He cycles back to the Evo Zap, and most importantly, this is the only decent spell he has against my troops. I kinda knew my cycle, so I really wanted to be pretty aggro here, since he had Evo Barbs, no Tombstone. I still want to go pretty aggro, forcing out the only ground response he has, which is the barbs, while I chip down the lava. We got Leone, which runs, well, I don't even think you all need to see the next cards to understand what is running. Okay, about these matchups, this isn't really the best matchup, since I believe he can just Curse Rage my Dark Goblin, and he dies, or just arrows it, and again, he dies. So no really place for me to outcycle on defense. But what's probably gonna carry is gonna be the Mighty Miner Bomb here. Tanking everything and like leaving the blobs with 1 HP. I believe I also tank the bush with an Ice Spirit to maximize the damage, which is gonna be like 5 shots. Yeah, pretty much 5 shots, but I think even 6, which is insane. And as you can see, I kinda struggle on the defensive side, so it's mostly about kitings and everything like that. I believe you also could have gone with, I don't know, an Eagle in the bridge. He would have had like no consequences, which is very funny. And so I get the activation. I was kind of concerned. I felt like he was a little bit higher on Elixir, and he would have had enough to go equal in the bridge, but he didn't. He also goes for a terrible curse, if I recall correctly. Yeah, which is not really gonna do anything. And I get the chance to make him waste his Evo Bomber, which is the most annoying thing he could ever kinda have in a push. Here comes the Train, the push, which I believe is defendable in double elixir. It's also pretty good. But as you can see, he cycles so fast. He can keep up with my cycles, ironically. But I still defend through kitings and like stalling. For another Golem at the bridge. I defend it easily. Outcycled all his spells. And yeah, hit him with a tactical Blood Blade. Okay, we're against Brock. He runs... he runs recruits. About this matchup, I would say if they have a double small spell, which he does, it's not really winnable. Like, it shouldn't really be winnable. You really gotta play pretty bad, because I am not really outcycling you. I bet he has double small spell and a fireball. I should never win this. But I believe with a pretty decent cycle, you can actually do. He goes for Pigs on the Bridge at 0. I really want to say something right now, but I shouldn't. So let's defend the right side. And he didn't really get a lot of damage, which is pretty good. Right now, I'm in a decent situation, pretty much 30 seconds before double elixir, and I didn't really take a lot of damage, which sometimes happens. I'm gonna be honest, if they like catch me like in a terrible cycle, I can get a lot of damage. I get down the Mighty Miner. I know it's kinda useless, but I really wanted to defend that and be pretty aggro with the Evo Wall Breakers, which I do. I still defend this Dark Goblin with my life. Okay, no, not really with my life, but you get the point. Still actually defend it, and he cleaned everything. This is what I mean without cycling. Even if he has like double small spells, or something like that, there's not much he can really do. He goes for the arrows. I kinda wanted to protect it, but I just went for a lane switch, forcing him to fireball on defense. Keep applying pressure, being pretty aggressive. Get a Mighty Miner at the back or like a dart, and the Evo Ball Breakers. I probably should have let the bush tank the Evo Ball Breakers on second thought. I feel like I would have also forced the Evo Cage, but it's all good. The left side is pretty much dead. I can cycle back and defend the right side, and defend his Dark Goblin. And this is the play of the year. He goes, Pigs. Flying Machine at the bridge. Gets melted by the Evo Darts. I keep applying pressure on the right. I still want to force him to play the recruits into my Evo Dart, which actually happens. And this is pretty good defense. I don't know why I didn't go arrows here, though I would have just pulled Breaker's Kite. Distract. Right now we're winning on a crazy damage lead, but it's kinda okay because I kept applying pretty good pressure, so I kinda earned the damage, not like he played that bad. I feel like there were some situations where he could have played the spells, but he didn't. Like here, I made him overcommit a lot. He doesn't really have the Cajun cycle, and he still has a bush to defend, which I believe he won't even defend, if I recall correctly, or just play the cage. Yeah, he plays the cage. That's what I mean, you kinda wanna be aggro in those type of matchups. So if you're not aggro, you're not gonna get like the field control. Here I kinda misclicked and protected the dart with another dart instead of the Ice Spirit. As you can see, I'm being pretty aggro here every single time. Also, triple elixir is the best for being aggro. Just cycle Evo darts, I keep doing that. He still has to defend. I'm still stalling the dart for the flying machine. As you can see, the dart does pretty much everything. The damage lead is pretty good. All I need to do is defend. I literally used all my evos on defense. And I did. And I saw my win. Gotta hit him with a BM. Because look at the deck. Okay, last game. We're up against Diego. About this matchup, I'm gonna be honest, most of the times you can be pretty aggro in single. If you can count the cycle and know that you don't really have the best response for that. He goes for an Ewis. I lane switch, and he's forced to play on defense. while I can defend all that push with Skellies and X-Spirit. I know his cycle was pretty chopped, he had like mostly spells, Goblin Giant and Sparky. So that's why I kinda went a Mighty Miner at the bridge. I knew he could have kited a Mighty Miner, but that was his only play, and he would have had like 0 support about that. I also believe he spammed at 0, because he kinda had to get damage, which I believe he does. I go with Skelly 0 because it's pretty weird, it's not really gonna be the best way to support the other troops with Rage. And I just use decent micros here to defend and counter push by kiting the Mega Mini with Wall Breakers. This game is pretty much done. There's not really much you can do here. I guess this type of decks, mostly Goblin Giant Sparky, the only thing that should concern you is if they Sparky the back. Because for the most I believe you should be pushing at the bridge with Mighty Miner or stuff like that, because you're not defending the push unless you have evil Wall Breakers or something like that. I go for an Evo Dart. He actually blocks it pretty well, just one tick. It should be enough since I can cycle back to my Evo Wall Breakers, which I believe are going to defend everything. Breaker cycle is definitely broken with this deck. There's not really much I can do in 30 seconds left, unless he wants to push opposite lane suddenly. Yeah. But I can just Mighty Miner switch in the worst case scenario. I also play cycle to another Dark Goblin, and I can't understand the VM, because the matchup is pretty terrible for him. I would say if he had Daga Dashes, that could have been a little bit more annoying, but he probably, yeah, he definitely would have lost. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and until next time.